Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. I'm back home now. I had to stop, go pick up my grandson, bring him to the house, drop him off to Mama. Got to see him and his oldest sister, the middle child, Katie Bug. Um, and then she was going to go back out and pick up the oldest one, and she's probably picking her up about right now. Started raining also when I went out, so I think we're going to have some rain this evening. And hopefully it'll all be gone and past us by the time I get off work tonight at 10:30. I ended up, I don't know if I said anything about this. I ended up going to court today for that speeding ticket that I got a couple weeks ago. And they asked me how I pled. And the judge explained basically that you can either plead guilty or no contest or not guilty. If you plead not guilty, then they'll set up another court date to have a trial. And I guess if you go to trial, that's when they'll have the police officer there that presented the ticket to you. And I don't know what kind of evidence they have, even though he claims it was by radar. So I didn't enter a guilty plea. I told the judge, I was like, well, I really don't know how to plead. He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, I'm not guilty. I'm probably guilty of speeding, but I don't believe I was guilty of the speed that he claims I was at. He goes, well, you can either claim not guilty and we'll take it to trial, or you can go ahead and claim no contest. And basically, it's a plea of guilty, even though you don't think you're guilty, basically. So I told him, well, I guess I'll go ahead and plead no contest because I am guilty, but I'm not guilty of what he's claiming I'm guilty of, and I'm not going to worry about fighting it. But I can't pay the fine today either. He asked me if I can make monthly payments of $100. I told him no. I can do about probably $50 a month. So I've got until October 7th to get this ticket taken care of, and I have to pay $50 a month. And starting next month. So I guess it would be May, June, July, August, September. Yeah. It gives me 5 months to pay off $260. $260. That is flipping ridiculous. I can remember the first time I ever got a speeding ticket. My first speeding ticket I ever got when I was 16 years old. I hadn't been driving very long, probably a couple months. Well, I got my license in June of that year. June, July of 85. And this was like during the school year. So I'd probably been driving maybe 4 months at the most. I'm a very inexperienced driver. And we had open campus for lunch, so it was me and one other girl going to lunch that day, and I decided to drive. And I wasn't thinking about the speed limit. I wasn't thinking about school zone, because of the fact that school was in session. So I didn't think that, I thought the school zone hours was only specific hours. So I got pulled over in the school zone trying to leave the school. It was a couple blocks away from the school, but the way the school system, where I went to school at, there was 2 or 3 different buildings within a 2 or 3 block proximity of each other that was considered the school zone. Anyway, that ticket, I went to court, my very first speeding ticket, I went to court. And because of the fact that it was my first offense, they gave me the option to go to driving court and pay, I think it was $25 for driving court, which was going to take one Saturday of my life away. And then I was going to have to pay like $15 court costs. So I think I had to wind up paying like $40 altogether. And it didn't get on my record. Now you're guilty unless you can prove you're not guilty. And they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. Because I think back then, my very first ticket in a school zone was like $120 is what the fine was. And like I said, I ended up paying about $40 altogether. So I wouldn't have to pay that 120. And I had to spend 8 hours taking a safety driving course type thing. Not that I wanted that to be my option today, because I definitely don't want to go to one of those stupid driving course classes again. But you would think that they would at least lower the cost of the ticket. But police are road pirates and they don't care about you. And they don't work for you. They work for their bosses, which their bosses work for the system. So even though the policemen claim to be there to protect and serve, they aren't doing that for the average human like me. What did I do? Who did I hurt in the process of going a few miles over the speed limit? There was no car accidents involved. There was no humans around. There were no other vehicles around. It was just me on the road and the officer on the road down the road from the direction I was coming from. I wasn't putting myself or anybody else in danger. So I just don't understand the concept of making somebody pay $260 for a speeding ticket. I mean, what lesson am I going to learn from that? Tell me, what lesson am I going to learn for having to pay $260? Other than the fact that I don't want to get another $260 ticket, so of course I'm going to be a little bit more aware of my speed now when I am in a school zone. Just like today, I had to go pick up Vinny, and there is no little school zone where he's at. I think there is, but it's not as enforced as it is up by the high school and by the elementary and middle schools. And then I went and drove him home. I won't get the. I doubt I'll ever go get the girls again. I might, but if I do, I'll have to be very cautious when I'm in that area of town during a specific time. Because I have not had a speeding ticket probably in about 20 years. I think 2006 was the last time I got a speeding ticket. And then I sold my car in 2012, and then I didn't have another vehicle until 2019. And then this is my first speeding ticket I've had since I started driving again in 2019. This is my first speeding ticket in 7 years. And I've drove all over the United States. From December 2019, for 3 weeks, I drove from Oregon into Nevada, into California, into Arizona, into New Mexico, into Colorado. October 2020, I left out of Colorado and basically traveled through Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, or Illinois, Indiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, all those states from October 2020 until February of 2021 when I came back home to where I'm at now. And I traveled all those states, never once got pulled over. I won't say I didn't get pulled over. I never got a ticket. I got pulled over one time, which was in December of 2019. And that was when I think I was in Arizona. I was in Arizona. I was in between the California border and Quartzsite. And I remember I just pulled off the highway. I had pulled off to go get gas and go to the bathroom at this convenience store. And I sat there for a little while before I decided to start driving again. And then I pulled off from there. I wasn't that far from Quartzsite. And I'll show you. I'll just get up and show you. If I can get it down without dropping it. Here's one of my pyramids that I had. Pretty cool, huh? And then I had this sitting on my dashboard. And I had it flipped around like this. So Daryl's name was facing me. And this was probably the side that the officer seen. He just seen this black box sitting up on my dash. And he pulled me over. The excuse he used to pull me over was that my tag light was out. That was the excuse he used to pull me over. Then he proceeded to ask me what was in the box. And I proceeded to tell him, oh, my dead husband. He was like, I was like, yeah. I got it out. I showed it to him. I was like, see, has his name on it. Day he died. Day I got him back. Has it all on there. And he proceeded to ask me what I was doing. I told him that I was in the midst of traveling to Colorado to go see my daughter for the holidays. And that before I arrived there for the holidays, that I was going to be spending some time with a couple friends of mine in Arizona and in New Mexico before I made my way up to Denver. He basically could see that my van was packed. I basically told him, yeah, I just left Oregon. I just I'm moving from Oregon. This is everything I own in my van right here. He proceeded to let me go. Gave me a warning. Told me to get it fixed, and that was it. That was in December of 2019. So yeah, anyway. That's what's going on with me today. I gotta be at work in a little less than 2 hours. Gotta be there today if I had to close. And then I'm off tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. And I am scheduled to Grubhub during those days. And we'll see how much money I can make. At the very beginning of my video, I was talking about how the food delivery apps are all pretty much the same. When I first started with Grubhub that first week, I made $262 in like 13 hours. Last night, I guess it's average, I guess it just really depends on where you go and what type of offers you get, because I made about $40 in about 2.5 hours yesterday. But I was on the app for a good half hour before I got my first offer. So in 2 hours from the time I got my first offer until I quit, It was 2 hours. I made $38 and some change, but this woman had given me $3 and a tip in cash when I delivered her food. She's like, I tipped you in the app, but I don't feel like I tipped you enough, so here's a little bit more. I was like, oh, well, thank you, dear. I appreciate that. I really do. And I hope you really do enjoy your food and have a good night and enjoy your dinner. So I made about $41 and some change in 2 hours. So technically, still, I am averaging $20 an hour. I was scheduled to do 7 to 9:30, but like I said, this big storm came through, and I wasn't going to put myself at risk for delivering food. So I marked myself absent because of bad weather. And proceeded to make my way home. So that's all that's been going on with me lately. Just try to get things done around here. Get things taken care of. I got my Dutch brother medal and sticker today. Yay, I'm going to show it to you. I still have it in the package. There's the sticker, and there is the Fiesta medal. It says Dutch Brothers on it, Dutch Brothers Coffee, and then it says Fiesta 2026. It's pretty cool. Daryl and I was in San Antonio, Texas from January of 2014 until August of 2014. And in April of that year, we went to the Fiesta every single night and walked around. We didn't have money to buy anything, but we was able to walk around and window shop, so to speak. And some places was handing out, free food and stuff like that. So we got to enjoy the Fiesta. And that's why I wanted that medal and sticker, because I love Dutch Bros. And me and Daryl discovered Dutch Bros together in June of 2015 when we arrived in Ashland, Oregon. And the rest is history. I did meet with my daughter yesterday afternoon for lunch. I don't know if I said that yet or not. And got another keychain for Dutch Bros. Show it to you. It was something that a Dutch Bros fan girl made. She's crafty. She's real crafty, and she has a 3D printing machine, which I think they're pretty cool. They have them at the library, and I see every time I go in the library for whatever reason, whether I'm with my grandchildren to get them books or whether I'm there for my own personal uh, purposes. The 3D machine that they have in the library is consistently uh, running something. And they have these little baskets of crafts that people made, and they're pretty cheap. There's some keychains in there. But this is the keychain that she made. And she made it because of Easter. And, people eat Peeps candy during Easter. And then she added the Dutch Brothers logo on there, and it's raised. It's not all one piece, and the eyes are separate too. But yeah, it's cute as heck. I got the teal one, and I bought Kelsey one, a purple one. And me and her went to this and had lunch yesterday, and I gave it to her then. So it's just been kind of crazy around here, I've just been doing a lot of running around more than I normally do. I haven't had to do any of their laundry in a while, but I know that's coming up because of my days off. So I'm going to, tell her that she needs to get it over here to me tonight and get it over here and set over here. And my next door neighbor, Robin, she moved to Colorado. And I think it was a couple of days ago. I was on my way to work. and I noticed that there was something sitting out in front of her apartment. A couple of things. There was a kennel, like a dog kennel, and the table. And I snatched it up, and I put my little cloth over there on it, and put a couple other things on there. I'm not for sure if that's exactly where it's going to sit, but that's where it's going to sit for now. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put on it, but it has a little shelf underneath as well for display purposes. Right now, you can't really see it because of the cloth that's over it. But I like it because of the fact that the type of wood it is, it pretty much goes with my wooden shelf that I have over here and goes along with the wood on my computer desk, as well as the wooden table back there. So basically, all the furniture in here is wood, um, or looks like wood. You know what I mean? So got that. Um, Other than that, just working. That's all I'm doing. Working wherever I can, however I can, to try to make as much money as I can. Because I got this $260 ticket I got to pay off by October 7th. And then I gotta, make enough money each month to pay my bills consistently and on time. Uh, like I said, the job that I currently work as a grocery cashier, when I first started working there in August of 23, I was averaging 30, 34 hours a week. Then it went down to 32. I went on day shift. I was still getting 32 hours. Then I lost my day shift job last summer once HAC started experiencing all the issues they were experiencing and had to close some of the stores. So basically, since last summer, last August, the hours that I've been getting have just been slowly decreasing. And that's why I'm basically out there doing these side hustles so I can meet my bills. I think my check that I'm getting tomorrow, $210 for the week. That's about $840 a month, and my bills are 900 and something a month. I put more gas in my vehicle than I have in a long time. Anyways, it's like 3:20. I gotta be out of here in about an hour and 20, 25 minutes. I usually like to clock in about 10 till because that's what they'll allow you. So I usually leave out of here about 20 till, between 20 till and 15 till. So I can get there and clock in usually somewhere between 10 till and 5 till. And then I'm there until we close tonight. So hopefully everybody shows up that's scheduled to work tonight. I think it's just me and one other girl, the one that usually always calls in. And then the other manager that I usually work with the majority of the time. Um, Hopefully it all goes smooth. If it's pouring down rain or anything later, we'll probably be slow. But then again, there are some people out there that like to get out in the rain and do all sorts of crazy errands and stuff when it's pouring down. Me personally, I think they're nuts. If it's pouring down rain, I don't want to be out in it if I don't have to be. It's dangerous, and it's just better if you're at home in one location, uh, without driving around and stuff. Peace, love, hugs, nugs. Till the next time. I don't know when that'll be. Unless I have any more exciting news to bring y'all. Might be a while, because right now my life is. I wouldn't say my life's boring, because it's not boring. But I don't feel like there's a lot going on in my life that anybody else would be excited about hearing. Because it's not like I have anything exciting going on. I just live a normal day-to-day life. I don't really pay that much attention to what's going on out in the world, even though I hear things, see things on the boob tube, whatever, on YouTube and Facebook, and what I hear from people, out in society or whatnot. So that's how I kind of have an idea as to what's going on. But as far as me tuning in and paying attention to every single move, every single word, every single whatever, no. I don't care. I don't care. So yeah, I just basically live my life. I basically get up, I go to work, I come home. I eat when I'm hungry. I sleep when I'm tired. I smoke weed most of the time when I'm here. Um, I take a shower when I need to take a shower. Basic life. I just do what I need to do to get by in life and to be happy and to help out those that I claim I love, or that I do love. If I didn't help out anybody that I said I love, then that's not love. Love's an action word. Love isn't just a 4-letter word that's spoken. Love is an action word. It is a verb. Anyways, peace, love, hugs, and hugs for the millionth time, and I'll see y'all on the next go around.